Blackchester. It's Blackchester Matters. I am in full lotus position. So hopefully this... Yeah, it's recording. Okay, so start in a minute. I don't know how this is going to be good, but it's kind of funny because my knee when I was standing on it hurts like hell, but somehow this way it's not so bad. I'll practically eat a pretzel and fine. So yeah, it's at least the flexibility isn't completely destroyed. So some interesting things, starting with an email that I used to get them a lot. These bizarre little emails. Hope that doesn't fall. I guess I'm pissed off when the mouse falls. And rather disturbing. Make sure all that's okay. Oh yeah, so for a long time we were getting these emails about people seeing me beat the meat on the camera. And, well, I don't worry, obviously, but, I mean, who does it at the computer? You really afford to replace a keyboard that easily? I mean, on a laptop, maybe if I had a desktop, it would probably be practical. I think it's beating it on there. But actually, this is funny. It's actually written to a woman at my address, and now I don't have anyone on the blackchester.com domain named Kara Rotke, which is a funny thing because he's saying it's sent from and to there. It says, "Hey, check the sender of this email form. I sent this email from your account. Your computer was infected by malware, RET, Remote Administration Tool. Your browser wasn't updated, patched." Which is kind of weird saying browser, since I don't use just one browser. It wasn't updated or patched. In such case, it's enough to just visit some website where my iframe is placed. This is a misnomer too. I mean, you still need to actually install stuff. I know there used to be some concerns about JAR files installing stuff. They were concerned about JAR files sort of auto-installing stuff and stuff like that, but I mean, that's probably a little more easier in Unix systems since they operate that way, but not on Windows. But even there, we can set things up so they don't auto-install from Java. Still think, pop-ups do come up when you're trying any type of executable that affects the operating system. And you have to affect the operating system in order to get malware on there. So usually people download stuff foolishly and don't run a scanner afterwards and don't double check it and lose their YouTube channels and stuff. So let's see where were we. Some website where I place automatically infected. Automatically. If you want to find out more, Google drive-by exploit, which, why not? I'll have to show you later after I'm done with this. I'll have the window open and ready and open. Anyway. And we'll see what that's about. But, lots of malarkey. Malware gave me full access and control over your computer. I got access to all your accounts. That's how I sent this email, and it was possible to see everything on your screen, which is kind of turn on your camera or microphone, and you won't even notice about it. Which is very strange sentence structure. You would think they would be more concerned about that if they were going to try to impress things upon you. Have a good, strong story with it. This isn't a social media post. I mean, take some care. I was spying on you, and I recorded you satisfying yourself. That's funny. If I were to do that, it'd probably be in the can, not in your computer, as I said. I mean, I don't think I can replace my laptop's keyboard and this chair. I don't want to stain it too much, right? It's already got enough wear and tear on it. You can't abuse the nice furniture. I'd have to buy something newer and less reliable at some point, as it is. Still, I mean, I could spray everywhere, getting it on there and there, maybe in the fireplace. I mean, sometimes it gets out of control, I guess. Well, it's not that bad. But there was this joke in National Lampoon magazine. Someone said, "Dad, come out of the closet," and the guy has a closet open and there's cum all over the fucking closet. That was in National Lampoon magazine in the 70s. It's almost illegal to depict such references back then. My malware gave full access camera. I was spying on you, and I recorded you so satisfying. After I removed my malware to leave any traces, you'd think you'd want someone to find some sort of trace with a virus scanner just so it's authentic. I would just think so. They still don't know what information you got or not, but I can send the video to all your contacts, friends, post it in a social network, publish it on the whole web. Just send me the link. I'll see what you got. I mean, post it wherever the fuck you want. It's probably ain't me, although I can't speak for Kara Rutka, because that ain't me. But if you want to risk her getting pissed off, whoever the hell she is, go ahead. On my computer, she didn't have my email. Just have something in generating fake emails with other, because some emails forward automatically to a main box, and they figure, oh, just see what would. It's like a spray and pray confidence game. I can get all your contacts, your friends, post it on social media, fish it, publish it on the whole web. But you can stop me. This is much better if Michael Palin does it on Monty Python, the game show Blackmail. That's hilarious. You can probably find it on YouTube. Just type in Blackmail Monty Python on YouTube. Transfer exactly $1,200 with the current Bitcoin price to my Bitcoin address, which is a really strange number. I think you may as well ask for like 1 Bitcoin or 1.3 Bitcoin or whatever. So the guy doesn't quite grasp Bitcoin, but he does know people. He's telling you how you can buy Bitcoin, which is funny. Of course, he doesn't know some people are in Canada. It's a lot harder to buy Bitcoin in Canada, oddly enough. It's a trickier thing to have that sort of thing. As a blockchain.com account, so I can actually report this blockchain address, which will have to happen. I'm just guessing as a blockchain wallet there. Copy and paste the address. That's telling you how to do it. I give you 3 days. Transfer to the Bitcoin. Now, if you see a video of me wanking it, there was something I recorded on 3DS as a joke once, or it's well, hyperspace awareness, I guess, or it's or the guy's telling the truth. But it's probably more worth it to find out if the guy's telling the truth. That's what I really want to know. I mean, maybe he's just sending it to this fake address because he thinks I'll doubt it. No, it's just such a bad scam. As I got access to this email account, I will know that it's not an email account, oddly enough. It's just a auto forward. I will know this email has already been read. That's not how my service works. If you get this email multiple times, it's to make sure that you read it, and after payment, you can ignore it. After receiving the payment, I will remove the video, and everyone knows that's not true, even if it is true, because even if the video is true, it ain't true that you're going to delete it, because there's always more money to be made. But shit, man, even if it is true about me specifically, and it's just like a weird double bluff or something, reason you got a fake email address to direct me to my real address, I'm a libertarian, man. Wanking myself in front of a fucking camera ain't the worst fucking thing to catch me do. You could probably catch me typing on Twitter, big government now, or raise taxes. Dig up an old forum where I say, oh, taxes aren't... No, libertarians don't really go that far back. I mean, Lincoln Chafee's even passing despite his voting record. And he actually made a voting record, didn't just advocate. You advocate things, it's a little easier to forget, but when you voted for stuff and you co-sponsored bills for stuff, and you, I guess you can say I'm not going to be I wouldn't endorse Lincoln Chafee if my endorsement mattered much, but I mean, I do know libertarians on the net and stuff like that, and I have been a candidate for a libertarian party once, so I guess it would probably have some impact, but I'm most interested in Armstrong, to say it's... I'm not really ready to say anything unless I know he's anti-war, but if Armstrong is anti-war, I might be favorable towards him. Also, not totally dogmatic about the anti-border thing. That's a bit of a issue. I mean, it's largely the dogmatism of the libertarians with borders and weed that usually gets them in trouble. I could go to that other thing, but I think it would be done here with this one. But yeah, that's the funny thing. But it's got a good thing. It says, next time, update your browser before browsing the web. Well, that's not quite how it works either. Really not how it works. Now let's go see what this guy... I have these things, but I already have those things on the browser. So Let's go to this thing, drive-by download. We can learn something about drive-by downloads, right? Remove drive-by exploit email scam. Yeah, see, it automatically shows the scam by. Oh god, people fall for this shit. Drive-by download means two things. Concerning the unintentional download of a computer software from the internet. One, downloads which a person has authorized, but without understanding the consequences automatically. Two, any download that happens without a person's knowledge, often a computer virus, spyware, or malware. Well, here we go. It's not Wikipedia. This one's malware. Drive-by exploit Bitcoin email malware. Oh yes, same scam. This is such a fucking. They're like computer-generated scams. It's like they're all over the place. Drive-by exploit scam, or it's so typical. There's a video about it. Drive-by exploit scam removal guide.
Just open Control Panel, click Uninstall or Change Program, then click here on the dates to arrange the programs. Look at the most recent ones. Since the adware was recently added, it should be here. But I gotta warn you, viruses have gotten smarter with time. So now you may even encounter some that provide a backdate or are installed under different names. So definitely look around and uninstall everything you don't remember adding. Now you need to
Let's put the link on the thing, on the video and podcast. It's a lot of bullshit though. I guess it could check that on now, but I'll add an extra message if there is something. But I haven't downloaded anything suspicious. Maybe something by Crap Clean Everything. And Crap Cleaner does a pretty damn good job. I do a scan. If this wasn't found by Spybot, they're gonna have to explain something. I do use Spybot for other companies. There's a Norton's thing. Sometimes I go on a shady sites. But malicious software, more commonly known as malware, is a threat. Exploit marketing, middle. Drag up a search thing for this. Specifically drive-by stuff. I'll just go to the Wikipedia thing. Can't be lying too much. Not on this thing. Or do they align political stuff? Wikipedia doesn't have a segment for me. And every time someone tries to put one up, it disappears. Yeah, I didn't put the turtleneck on. I got my DC United warm up on here. It's got turtleneck enough thing, so I'll just I wear it around the house. So really full. Visiting a website, opening email attachment, or clicking a link, or clicking a deceptive pop-up window, clicking the window in the mistaken belief that, for example, an error from your computer's operating system itself was being acknowledged, or seemingly innocuous advertisement pop up, dismissed. In such cases, the supplier may claim that the user consented to download, although the user was in fact unaware of having the malicious software download. And so, thing is, everything always pops up when there's a download. So I mean, would have to probably piggyback on a legitimate software or something. Or something that was a legitimate software once and it got bought up by China or something. I don't know. The malicious content may be able to exploit vulnerabilities in the browser or the plugins to run malicious code without a user's knowledge. Drive-by install or installation. Yeah, but you know, they know my name. That's the thing. How would they not know my freaking name and stuff? They'd offer some sort of proof they know who I am. Drive-by downloads. An attacker must first create a malicious content to perform this act. With this rise, exploit attacks. SLT, some boring, isn't it? Drive-by term's kind of new to me. None of the else is so new. I guess when it's not new to you, it's kind of whatever. Of course, installations always have a pop-up, so it's very unlikely it's going to happen. All right. Oh, well, now we got here. There's some interesting, fun stuff. I'll for now, notice Dankula. He had some trouble because of, well, the videos were, there was a video or two taken down. But that's not the biggest point. There's a lot of demonetization, takedowns, and so on. But here's something interesting. Rapsheets.com, it's not unique. There's like mugshots.com and all these other mugshot supply businesses. But this is one of the more insidious ones. It has a sex offender list, but it's only people who are suspected and arrested, not convicted. And so I have taken up on Twitter this attack towards them. Apparently, they don't have a Twitter page, which I find strange, especially since they're authoritarian. Though there must be if they're doing this. But here's the amazing thing. They got an AdWords thing. They are monetized. As Google will monetize this presumption of guilt factory. And that's all they do. They show people who are suspects, who were detained and got arrested and put through the system, but they don't mention convictions or parolees. Except parolees are not people who have fulfilled their full sentence, so therefore they have not paid the price. So they are still technically guilty. But someone who's been released from jail as well, not a criminal. The record should be expunged immediately. It should be an automatic pardon type thing. There should never be people shouldn't be paying for a crime that not have any forgiveness. If I support murder, I would support the death penalty for him, but I do not. So I support the idea of putting them to jail forever, including their burial. And these crimes are rape, child molestation, which is basically rape too, but it's a more insidious rape, I guess. And serial murder, which is a murder of 3 or more people in a pattern, in a pattern like MO, modus operandi. Like they only like to kill a certain way. They like only certain people as victims and stuff like that. That's why you don't have to panic when there's a serial killer unless you are their type. But they pussyfoot around that. That's her sentencing thing. I understand putting up conditional release lists, like people in Canada, they get released early out of jail as pedophiles and stuff like that. I understand that list. But frankly, if I think they're conditional release lists, if you kill them bastards, I think it's self-defense or defense of your child or defense of somebody else's child. I don't think you should be punished for it. Because they are admitted convicts that are let out to finish their punishment in the regular population. Now they're told, don't go within 10 feet of children, but can you really not be within 10 feet of a child? It's also kind of cruel in the sense that these releases are sort of entrapment in a way. It's, I mean, it's like locking up a boozer in a liquor dispensary. So yeah, I've been shooting on this, and I'll put the tweet on the description. I recommend going there, retweeting it, liking it if you agree with the message, and especially down here where I mentioned to Google and Google Ads, the classic liberal stuff, blah, 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 and they're neoliberals. I'd say neoliberals reject due process and monetize a site that calls people only arrested sex offenders. Now, technically, they have been proven to be offenders. And that's the important thing. Haven't been proven beyond a reasonable doubt to have committed the crime. As much as it'd be nice to know for a fact that these people, or people, that are the creature, to know that they are the creature. It'd be nice if we could see people. I don't have the BuzzFeed thing out, but I will mention that. Innocent until proven guilty. Excuse me. No, Corona, I just had a cough. Just a little bit of a cough. I have now and then. Sometimes I get bad. A little rum clears it up. Just half a finger. Amazing stuff, that rum. Or tummy tum tum, but not throaty throat throat. Yeah, so that's the whole thing there. And speaking of innocent until proven guilty, Timothy Hutton gets cancelled. I gotta get these legs out. Won't get stay in position too long. It's a long coach, shouldn't go through that. It was just so comfortable. Now I'm feeling the pain on my killer. I'm hoping that's no. Oh, I don't do it for spiritual things. I just like the flexibility factor. Position. Yeah, well, never mind. So what Timothy Hutton was being accused on BuzzFeed. Now, this is the level of credibility BuzzFeed has. I mean, if you really are raped, do not go to fucking BuzzFeed first or at all. I mean, you're gonna be dismissed outright just on the BuzzFeed thing. No one's gonna trust them or you. They're woke as fuck. You want to go to some place like, not even Fox News as much, but I mean, you want to go to places that are a little more skeptical, and they're gonna ask you more questions. And maybe not I mean, I don't know if this woman even read the article that they wrote, because it's possible. I don't. Either she's lying, or they changed the language to make the article look more impressive, and they made her look like a liar. So I'm not going to say she's a liar. I'm just going to say BuzzFeed's not credible. But he still got canceled. His show's out. Uh, I don't even know what the fuck the show is. So I mean, it could have been ratings anyway. So I mean, but it was still an attempt to cancel. The local news in Vancouver, where it did happen, and I live there, they did not pick up the Hutton thing, and I'll check the OBS because I can't see. I'm currently in Batman villain angle right now, so I gotta fix the camera. Let's see. I think I kicked the camera a little bit. Still a bit of this angle. I mean, you could always post whether or not post a comment saying I like Batman really. Oh. I am the supervillain of comedy, so I guess it would be suitable. Right. Focus! It's not focusing. There we go. I gotta have to get a new camera. Right? I just got this piece of fucking shit. Papa look. I think it's Papa look. I was getting cheap about it, but I don't exactly get a huge donations and stuff, so not that I'm pushing for it. I'm just saying you get what you get. This is what you have. This is what you have to like, right? Up on, which is something I don't seem to teach enough people when they're growing up. So you get all these people demanding more and more and more. You can sell them free stuff or free stuff. I mean, really, someone's going to pay in the back end. I guess it's still on the angle. Huh? All right, whatever. Keep it on the villain thing. Maybe I'll do that as a permanent thing. Might be cool. Dun, 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 dun. Run that sound on there. So yeah, okay. I think I'll check the camera out level. Yeah, so so yeah, I was just Twitter somewhere. I was questioning the whole thing, and that was a nasty situation. Yeah, and speaking of nasty situations, politics, and people offering free money, as well as people not understanding this is what we have, this is what we have to like. Father's favorite sayings, and he was right to teach me. Um, Truly, though, any donation's cool. Sharing and retweeting that other boring shit other tubers say. I don't like to push that stuff too much because, I'd say subscribe more, but I usually like the fact that I see more viewers and I see subscribers. So if you're sure you're going to come back and watch them every time I have a video or catch up on them, do hit the subscribe thing. Do it in any of them. YouTube, Podbean, Brighteon, El Libre. I'll show you all of them. Um, I mean, if you're concerned about suspicious software, I guess Libre would be. Right? They assured me that they only took certain parts of BitTorrent. Now, I'd say normally BitTorrent is a really bad thing. BitTorrent alone is a pretty bad thing. I don't trust WinTorrent or any torrents. This is just based on the technology, so it's not exactly the same deal, Libre. But they're not very good at explaining that. But they're very good at patiently trying to explain it, and they do a terrific customer service. I mean, lbry.tv. You can follow me on Gap, Minds, um, my Facebook page, uh, Unsigned Voice, all those things I got on the description. Um, there as well. I agree with the notion that you should stay with even the bad ones, even if you know they're a lot, just to stick it to them. as a dissenting voice. Because I can be on Gab, but I'm not terribly dissenting. I mean, I'm a libertarian on a conservative run platform, of course, right? Christian conservative. I mean, but, he's tolerant of my voice, as opposed to the loony lefty on Twitter who isn't. Will flag anything, or Facebook. I flagged for something recently, and I'm going to show that to you soon. Yeah, seems so. Uh, yeah. Anyway, let's keep going. I never know when that thing's going to run out. I think I put these Sunbeam batteries in there, but I'm not sure they were fully charged. Um, when I remembered oh yeah, this is funny. MSNBC, bless everyone, including two and so on, who spread this whole thing around. Um, MSNBC decided that when you divide uh, when you divide 375, no, is it 327 million by 500? No, no, it's dividing. Yeah, dividing 500 million. Yeah, 500 million by 370. No, 327 million. Anyway, I'll have to link that Gab post too. Um, which has a link to the BitChute thing. Oh, yeah, let's get it. It's a basic time for me to actually have the thing uploaded and checked, especially on Brayon. They have a extra verification thing, so on. But I mean, they pretty much allow everything, so I'm not sure why that's there. But I guess they're checking if it's a full-length movie or not. I guess they could have just fast-tracked all the small bits. Well, anyway. Um, let's see. Yeah, so they math, you get rid of all the zeros, and then you have them like, it's like 327 and 500, and then you subtract them, or subtract, or actually it's divide them amongst each other, and you find out things like it was actually $1.53. They thought it was 100 million. 100 fucking million. You probably heard this stuff already. Uh, but yeah, these reporters actually, Brian Williamson, which you would have figured maybe he would have be brighter by now at least. I mean, he's a little more old school, but it's like he's just reading, saying what the earpiece tells him, and as Bimbo would go, pretty girl though, just nods and says, yeah. When he says Bloomberg could have given every American $1 million, every 375. That's adding another 6 zeros to the freaking amount he spent. Pretty much. Still has time enough for coffee? Good lord. He'd be in more debt than anybody. Might not nearly rival the government. That's all crazy shit. Hunter Avalon on Twitter has this meme on here. Uh, it's kind of cute with Mario looking at the notes. Huh, this is odd. The map said I wouldn't encounter a dumb fuck in another 2 miles. Don't see how it sinks in though, but it's cute, I guess. I mean, right? Conservatives aren't always great at memeing either. A lot of memes are just shit anyway. Even right-wing libertarian, whatever. But right-wing libertarians usually just have more more ones. Uh, Still the bad ones though. No, that's comedy rule. Not everything's golden. Not everyone likes everything. You just have to like what you put out yourself. It's the whole thing. Makita Rivas said this thing. Bloomberg spent 500 million on ads, and U.S. population is 327 million. The numbers just jumbled in my head, so apologize. I still have my learning disabilities. I fight them. I overcome them a lot frequently, but it's it's still very difficult. I kind of have to allocute myself sometimes to the lisp. Sometimes I get lisped or something like that at times. I'm aware of these things. Especially when I'm a little tense about talking. I don't necessarily like my image on video and stuff like that. I put like cameras and photographs and stuff like that. And I prefer speaking when it's a debate type thing or a discussion where there's another person that you can see and can talk back right at you. Maybe it would help if we get more comments in the comment section or dissenter comment section, which I'll try to check on a regular basis. It's a little hard to get used to, but eventually I will. Still, it's good to have the copy on the dissenter app. Yeah, so she thinks you can give 1 million to every 327 million in America. And Bloomberg would still have money left over from that 500 million. Thinking, let's see, basically have $500 and 27. It's really, I mean, that's more. She got a blue check mark. This broad is a Twitter favorite. Twitter's like this is like, Twitter aristocratic stuff. Oh, it's weird. There are people less famous than my own father that have blue check marks. My father doesn't have a blue check mark. Of course, he's on Twitter a lot, but still, you think they would have emailed him and asked him to confirm his identity or something like that? He'd probably say "fuck you," but vicariously means that some of these thoughts are less famous than I am. After all, I did run for office several times, and I did stand-up comedy and stuff like that. I mean, it's much more constructive than a fucking thought. I mean, granted, I don't rag on thoughts. So, I mean, I think if you can sucker some moron, thirsty people, thirsty boys, such a gay phrase. I'm bisexual, and I find it phrases like spicy and thirsty boys so irking. It's like, now I'm homophobic again. It's like, I don't want to do a guy anymore when I hear that, because it's like, oh my god, will I? See, I'm already going, oh, already going, oh, oh. I'm, so bisexual is like a wig bag. I got bit by a homo once, and suddenly I became this sexual daywalker. uh, Instead of carrying a blade, I whip around my dick. Um, but no, I'm not queer. I don't throw my dick around. I just admit that what arouses me arouses me. That's what I admit. Doesn't mean I do shit. Doesn't mean anyone does shit. There are a lot of gay guys that don't fuck anybody. That live asexual lives. It's true. There's some people that are very spiritual. They're very religious ones that don't do it. I'm not saying I'm made of stone about that sort of thing, but I'm not saying I'm not either. Whoever I start banging or whatever, it's my business. I'm not gonna stuff it in anyone's fucking face. Uh, well, unless they consented for me to stick it in their face. So, that's that with that. can get rid of those windows, and I guess I could get into that next. Zuck, you promised. You said Facebook would not be censoring. You said we could basically post anything we wanted. Of course, that was posted before that. Of course, I joined Facebook before all these rules were involved. I don't know why you could have just applied these new rules to the new people. That would have been a little more reasonable, actually. But anyway, it's a publicly run company, by the way. And this is a position I'm going to hold. PragerU has a case, but the PragerU is idiots lawyers that don't know how to argue. The whole point is the Security and Exchange Commission, which allows these companies to get investors on a high level. They give them advantages over other companies like Gap and Minds that are private companies, and oddly enough, more open to free speech. In fact, free speech was more open on all these other platforms before they were on the stock market. Now, the SEC is a government office which has to enforce free speech because it is answerable to Congress, and Congress cannot pass any law that does not that allows the abridgment of free speech. I'll grab them. Actually, I don't know if I'll be able to put this in the description. Maybe I will. But this is a great copy of the Federalist Papers. It's by it's the enriched classic, Federalist Papers, and it's got a Constitution in the back. So that's really cool too, right? Right there. It's a very good resource for everything you need to know. Well, I hate to think it's everything you need to know. Everything. You can't question anything you want, but let's see if we can find our First Amendment here. Because Prager was trying to defend the First Amendment, they're saying, well, the platform doesn't have to follow First Amendment, but they are technically a wing of the government in the sense that they are financing themselves through a government agency regulator. And they can't do it without the SEC approval, and that's it. Oh, it's Article 1, not... Whoops. Alright, let's see this. There we go. The amendments were adopted in 1791, 1 to 10. And 1 is what we're looking for. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. Wonderful thing. Or abridging the freedom of speech, in which the SEC does do if they do not enforce free speech. See, here's the thing. If they do not legislate to defend free speech, they are technically legislating to support censorship, which means they are not. They are legislating to support, and in effect, every regulation that associates itself with electronics and so on has a duty to also enforce free speech because they cannot legislate otherwise. The opposite is true. And the fact is, if the SEC allows the company that needs them to invest this high-level money, which they shouldn't need to if they want to be on an equal playing field with every company, like liberals say, never mean, well, not liberals, the false liberals, the neoliberals. They go around the leftists, the cocksucking leftists. They are abridging free speech. The SEC and Trump must be enforcing free speech. They can be kicked out of the stock market if they don't. They can lose all their investment potential if they don't support free speech. And every business can go through this. And that goes with any other constitutional article, like a second. Oh, this is a lovely document. I may have some company says bridging the Second Amendment, Third Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, Seventh Amendment. Yeah, you private security companies of the Fourth Amendment, you dicks. I mean, really. Even if it's not government, if they have to function through a government agency, and these are also collectives, they're not individuals, so they're not protected by rights just like the individuals who use their services. The individual is first. And that's something Calvin Coolidge says, and I don't think I'll drag that up. Actually, Cal Cool has a great quote about this, and I agree with Calvin Coolidge, the best president there was since the founders. Since Madison, I think. Or maybe Monroe. I don't know about Monroe. Some of the founders had faults too. That's just why they were brilliant to have John Jay and people like that on the court sector. How cool. I should probably put my quote area up so I can find some quotes that I even wrote down myself. Liberty is not collective. It is personal. All liberty is individual liberty. Calvin Coolidge, 19. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Oh, his birth is 1873. His death is 1933. He's the 30th U.S. president. This was a speech in 1924. And we'll probably want to keep that quote up there. I can see it right there. Liberty Trees, I got a great quote list too. At least has in the past. You can comment on quotes too on that place. Okay, let's see. Yeah, up to that now, are we? Yeah, well, as you know, there was this big dumpster fire associated with. Bring up. Naughty half-ass work I've been doing the outfitting. So, what's up the first one? First one's here. That's probably why I'm open. So I want to close up and look at the little text. Why isn't it? Have to make sure. So yeah, I sent in a complaint to BBC, but it was regarding something a little more unique than just the not my Doctor Who thing. And that's a funny thing with that. I want to talk about that too. Oh yeah, there's another thing. I gotta get back to this other thing. Facebook also had this other problem. I got in trouble for someone else posted in one of my groups. It wasn't even comedy related, I guess, but my outrage here is that they make the group somewhat responsible of quality of the group, but like, fuck you. Why should I have to censor people for you? Go fuck your ass. Go tiny dick authoritarian bastards. Yeah, fact check that tiny dick remark. You better show it, man. Better show it. So this guy, Justin Chan, he's in Vancouver, a comedian in Vancouver, and he's being canceled in real life. Now, if you want to think Twitter canceling is so bad, well, real life canceling can be really bad and even sneakier. This guy's getting in trouble. It's hard for him to start rooms for other comedians to horn the crowd, get started, and even get booked for cash. And this is a blaze in the movement, and this man was merely accused on a Facebook Facebook message to the Vancouver police of raping her. accused. He was taken away as an innocent person to the police department, and the police department checked him. They said, okay, you got the wrong hair color, and sent him on his way. So it was a case of he said, she said they all look alike. So, the real Me Too, the real world Me Too, the real housewives of Me Too, maybe, attempted to make trouble for this fellow, Mr. Chen here. And this guy here was his partner in a room, and he was having trouble, leaving nasty stuff sent to him. Do people understand justice? Basic justice, It's ridiculous. Anyway, back to this thing. So I sent a BBC complaint, but it was actually different than actually complaining about the show as such. I mean, I wasn't too fond of the show since the skinhead took over, but as a doctor for the eighth one, and I deny it happened. Yeah, I'm a ninth denier. I'm the original thing. I was doing it when these people were kissing the brand loyalty, despite the reality of the writing and crap like that too. I forgot about all the continuity errors in the new Who thing. Granted, it got significantly worse when Chibnall got on. Got worse with every new guy. I'd take a petition seriously, not the petitioner. But people who post their own individual reasons, some do this to distance themselves and not get caught in the collective. I likely don't have to say which one. Not my Doctor Who is the hashtag. It's something important. I like the classic era. I don't care for RGD onward stuff. Always hoped it would turn around and get better. It got worse. Quality was the last hope on a string of bad casting for that role, and that was badly written for. Oof, pardon me. It's real life. I can't control it. But your Twitter fellow painted the criticism of the BBC in a way that reflects vaguely. I am bi, disabled, libertarian because they find that shit important to mention. Your check marks and stuff like that. And the fact you're not right wing, or I don't know if they consider that not right wing. I pointed the Android Invasion episode where it refers to the Doctor as libertarian. In the classic one. It's a classic, a new Who. Classic Who is classic liberal, and new Who is new liberal. So it kind of syncs up with those labels, isn't it? A Magyar, at least, as a slur, could be called alien for that alien for the latter. Alien for the latter. Magyar Hungarian. Look up Treaty of Trianon, Stalin, and understand how England falls in that. I am never represented, which is true. I mean, Magyars are not represented much. Usually as some sort of villain monster or serial killer or something like that. Daffy classic but a daffy classic libertarian with clear diction was close. And the classic Doctor fits this, especially Tom Baker. it was more of an inner child show, which is true. It was more a show that appealed to the inner child than anything, which was probably a good way to grow up with. I mean, the clear diction is also important too. I mean, it was good that when they're using bright jokes and bright and talking clearly, not being gutter snipes, stuff like that. So it got so normal and maudlin and orthodox, sanctimonious to woke, all a bit bad. Don't care about the sexual repping, private stuff, really. Even a bit cheeky about the Magyar thing, referring to my cheekiness. Uh, Making a point. By the way, Martian is an ethnic slur towards Hungarians, as is, well, I joke about vampire. Vampire's not quite one. But I grew up in the business. I did grow up in the business. Of course, it was private sector business largely, but I'll leave that alone. Let's check that voice thing. I might be surprised it's not recording. It's still recording. Let's put that down there. Right, where are we? I grew up in the business, so I understand both sides. The super fans are tedious to me as well in many ways. Twitter isn't real life. If you wish to consider the source, and put up my autobiography there, so consider the source, and like even who is my domain, so they can confirm if I'm a real person. Yeah, that could be done too. That's a good way to verify. Try not to dismiss or be a slave to fanfare. That's my comment there. Okay, next one. This is their response. Well, it was just, I could read it to you. I could just link it to the platform. I'll link it to the description because I don't want to bore you. I'll say what I said about it, the image I posted about it. Then I get this response knowing no matter what you say, they didn't give a fuck and didn't read it. I find the most funny thing is their multiculturalism doesn't extend to a mail processor that does my accents. Ain't that just funny as hell? But, well, I mean, let's put on the image, fuck you, BBC. If you're not going to read it, don't respond with a far off form letter. This is sort of the thing I was kind of figuring on, but nothing this stupid. This is the same thing they're telling everybody, regardless of what they say. You could tell them, fuck your son and fuck your asshole, fuck shit, dick, whatever. You could do a whole Tourette's song. And you still get this letter. You could say, would you like to come over and fuck me in the ass? And you'd still get this letter. You could say, you'd probably get this letter if you said, hey, I didn't mind it. But it's like, it's bullshit letters like a series 12, blah, 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 you didn't like it. Some people like this. It still doesn't cancel out Hartnell. Fuck you, it doesn't. Knew who was dead to me. Completely given up on that one. Classic. I'll always have the DVDs. I'll have to be linked. First one. So yeah, that's that for that, and some extra news on the faster on the Descender browser, but not sure it shows it on the OBS in the new one. Here it is. There is a new article on Huffington, sorry, there's a new article on huffingluepost.com. Do check it out. Thanks very much. Have a good night, morning, afternoon, whatever. Depends when you're seeing it. You can see whenever you want. That's the beauty of this sort of thing, I guess. Yeah, and like, subscribe, whatever. If you feel you might miss it if it was gone, feel free to donate if you like. I don't really have any major tiers, really, per se. I mean, about anything that I can really guarantee and stuff like that. I can just say thank you if you do, and you're a groovy, liberty-loving person, I guess. Whatever. Foremost, do check out huffingluepost.com and check out the social media links and everything else in the description, as your free will permits. And thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you heard some of that, because my scarf kind of went over the top of it, but I guess we'll see. Let me know when the sound runs out, if it does. Good night, podcast. I'm going to stop that first. And then I'll get to the OBS software and stop the audio.